Okay, a very good evening to everyone. I am Ting Chiong, the HR manager for DMZ Collectibles Sendirian Bahar. So today we're going to discuss this proposal paper, which is discussing the proposed adoption of HRIS software for payroll. Let's move on to the agenda today. So basically, we have 13 items on the agenda today, starting off with the executive summary, followed by the company background, problem statement, proposed HRIS solution, stakeholder report, market survey, justification for hardware and software, cost-benefit analysis, implementation schedule and timelines, challenges and issues of HRIS implementation, recommendations and suggestions, conclusions, and also, most importantly, our ICT policy. So let's move on to the first item on the agenda. So, for the executive summary, our main purpose of this paper is to seek approval for HRIS adoption because currently our payroll specialists are overworked calculating payroll for 2,500 staff. We anticipate a return of investment of 107 and 4.14% within 5 years, and this is expected to increase operational efficiency and sales revenue long term. We anticipate a full implementation in 6 months, and this is a joint study conducted by the head of IT, the head of finance, and also the HR manager. So moving on to the company background, DMC Collectibles Sendirian Bahad was founded by Terry Tan and Donny Ho in 2010. So we are basically the Asia Pacific franchisee of DMC Collectibles in the US. The nature of our business is dealing in sports memorabilia. Our staff head count is currently 2,500 and growing. So for our 2019, our revenue came in at 8 million ringgit, and our profit for 2019 was 1.5 million ringgit. Our vision is currently to be the leading sports memorabilia hub in the Asia Pacific region, and our mission is to provide our sports collectible enthusiasts with dedicated professional services for their cherished hobby. Our problem statement basically is about our payroll staff not being able to cope with the increasing volume of payroll, and there are also concerns about forex fluctuations due to timeliness issues of the submission of payroll. This is because we have agents all over the world, and except for our Malaysian employees, we are paying them in US dollars. And with foreign currency, we're always subject to the change. And if they don't submit their payroll on time, we may also send them their remuneration late. And the difference between a few days will definitely have an impact on the forex exchange. And we have also been receiving complaints from our staff about inaccurate payroll. So with the sheer volume that is being handled by our four payroll specialists, there's bound to be some issues in the end. And we are also seeing a high turnover of payroll specialists in the past 2 years because on average, each one is just staying 6 months on the job before they're moving on to a new job. So the proposed HRIS solutions, HRIS is basically the Human Resource Information System, is that we are looking for a software to assist in smoothing out our payroll calculation process and also to resolve our time attendance issues. And we are proposing that we are taking the SAP suite of HRIS. Basically, we're taking the payroll module first, and depending on the situation and on our finances, we may explore further modules in the future. We are choosing this because it's compatible with most smartphone operating systems, so most of our staff are able to remotely submit the timesheets for payroll calculation through the mobile app. So they have no excuses not to submit their timesheets on a timely basis. As for the stakeholder report, we've talked to a number of people within the company on their thoughts about acquiring this new HRIS system. So the head of finance department says it saves time for our treasury personnel to pay salaries and wages. And the payroll specialist at the headquarters says I have the ability to learn other functions of HR spectrum in my downtime. And the IT department is very supportive. They say that we will work with the HR department to finalize training modules. One of our agents out in Singapore it says that I'm able to keep track of annual income and commissions, so that's a good thing for everyone, right? We've done our market survey too, so our master franchisor in the US also uses SAP, and it seems that Dell and Lenovo seems to be the most popular choice for most companies for their IT hardware. And with the SAP system, it has seamless integration with the banking system in the US, and I believe with our local banks too. And definitely, with the most two popular operating systems in the market right now, That's Windows and Mac OS. So it is compatible with both. That's good news for us. So for the first thing we're looking at is we're looking for on-site server. We are also looking at cloud servers, but we also need to make sure that most of our um, data is stored on the on-site servers. So basically, we've gone with three choices, and you can see that we have Dell, Acer, and Lenovo. The model is stated as below: PowerEdge for Dell, Altos for Acer, and the ThinkStation for Lenovo. If you can see that we have done justification using the weightage model, and yes, Acer depend with all those features taken into consideration, namely the processor, the RAM, the hard disk drive, and the speed, the warranty, and basically the price in Malaysian ringgit. The Acer choice, the Altos T310, it was one out with 89 score compared to 79 for Dell and 81 for Lenovo. So our decision is basically we opt for the Acer Altos T310 for our server of choice. Next, we move on to the choice of desktop. Again, we are going for the three most popular brands, Dell, Acer, and Lenovo. And yes, Acer wins again this time with a score of 80 compared to Dell, which scored 78, and Lenovo, which scored 76. It was a very close call, but in the end, we had to make a decision that is the best interest of the company. And again, we are basing this on the criteria of the processor, the RAM, the hard disk drive, the monitor size, basically, and also the warranty, and definitely the price. So based on the above comparisons, we opt for the Acer Aspire TC895 for a desktop of choice. And last but not least, the HRS software. We mentioned a lot about ACP because we've actually done a lot of research onto it. The other two options were basically from Oracle, Oracle Payroll, and also QuickBooks Payroll. But we have gone with SAP Payroll because it supports the users of up to 5,000 workers. Currently, we have 2,005, but in future, who knows, we may grow. And the compatibility with Android, iOS, Windows, and Mac OS is very attractive, although the other two competitors also have the same features. And definitely 24-hour support is really attractive. And also for our cloud storage, we are given 2 terabytes of storage. The warranty is for lifetime. And the price, although not exactly the cheapest, but on average for the features that they provide, it's affordable. So that's 150 per user. So as you can see from the weightage scores, definitely SAP Payroll has been the champion with a score of 89. And based on the above comparisons, we opt for the SAP Payroll for our HRIS software of choice. And as for the cost benefit analysis, you can see that we have three main thrusts for our savings: reduce OT claims for our payroll specialists, increase productivity, and reduce record keeping. Reduce record keeping here means that most of the reports do not need to be handled manually anymore, and we are looking at a 5-year time frame. So the total savings after 5 years, we are looking at some 3.12 million, whereas the overhead expenses initial outlay of the system, the HRI system, is close to around 470,000, and the operational expenses over the 5 years, including over the 5 years, is around $1 million. So if you look at it, we have a total cost of basically 1.5 million, including the operational outlay, but the benefit compared to our 3.12 savings, we are actually saving on a lot. That's 1.6 million. And basically, the return on investment is 107.14%, as I mentioned earlier on. Compared to today's net present value, we will is around 1.3, 1.4 million, closer to 1.4 million in savings. So this is what we are looking at, and the implementation schedule and timelines. So basically, we are in the midst of discussion with all the department heads that has been done, and discussion with the core users has been done also. The hardware and software market has also been done. And basically, right now, we are in the proposal write-up stage and the proposal presentation stage, which I'm doing right now. If approved, we will start to select the vendors in the first 2 weeks of February. And once that has been done, the installation of the HRIS will commence in the third and fourth weeks of February. So for the whole month of March, we are going to pilot test this for our core users, and let's hope we get a lot of valuable feedback because the first 2 weeks of April, we are looking to test the system for bugs, and then training commences for all our users, starting the third week of April all the way up to the second week of June. And if everything is good to go, then we are going to fully roll it out, and the ongoing maintenance and the monitoring tech support will start. Yeah, we will start the full rollout by the third week of June. Hopefully, that's what our plan. Okay, so the challenges and issues of HRIS implementation. Basically, some staff has said that with the adoption of HRIS, they are not tech savvy and they may have issues adjusting to the new software. The cost, the initial outlay of almost $470,000 is at least 30% of our last year's profit. So, security, the IT head has actually brought this issue up to say that there may be a possible data breach and also if sufficient space to store our physical service. And our tech support, our existing support techs, they may need time to adjust to the new software. And currently we only have 5 techs, so we may need to look at hiring a few more. So our recommendations and suggestions, for those who are not tech savvy, the IT department will assist to train all users and provide support 24/7 through the help desk. And for the long-term savings, even though we are spending around $470,000, ringgit, I'm sorry, we will recoup the cost as early as the second year. And the overall 5 years projected savings is, as I mentioned just now, closer to 1.61 million. And as for the insufficient space to store the servers, we have an existing warehouse which we can convert to a server hub. So it's also good that we are actually housing new servers, and maybe we can actually move some of our HQ staff because the HQ right now is a bit too cramped too. And as for the training for tech support staff, they will be trained and certified with SAP software also for their career development. So the conclusion is that the adoption of HRIS software will see us having a competitive advantage over our peers, and we are definitely strategizing to collaborate with our master franchisor in the US for more business opportunities, and the HRIS will greatly improve operational efficiency. It is definitely a win-win situation for all involved. And as for our ICT policy, basically this addresses all the users of our ICT equipment in our company, DMC Collectibles. It explains the rationale behind the ICT policy and lays out the do's and the don'ts while they are using the company's ICT equipment. And we are seeking cooperation from all the ICT users to adhere to the rules and regulations pertaining to the use of the ICT equipment. So, yeah,